right? He said that he came to Uthman radiallahu anhu. And he said, came to Uthman at the time when the people of Sham, people of Syria at that time, and the people of Iraq were waging war to conquer Armenia, right? The people were not Arabs, and Azerbaijan and so forth. Hudayfa was afraid that the people of Sham and Iraq differences in the recitation, because he was hearing what they're saying, right? So he said that they're changing up the words. So he went to Uthman radiallahu anhu and said, "O chief of the believers, or Amir Mu'mineen," right? He said, "Save this nation before they differ about the Quran, just how the Jews and the Christians did before us." So Uthman sent a letter to Hafsa. Remember, she has a copy of the Quran. Send us the manuscripts of the Quran so that we may compile a Quranic material in perfect copies and return the I'll return the manuscripts to you. Basically, we're going to make multiple copies, and then we're going to send it out. So give me your copy. We can copy this one down, make different copies of it, and then we'll send it out to Syria and to Iraq and different places, so they all read from one copy, if you will, right? Uthman ordered Zayd bin Thabit, once again, he's still alive, Abdullah bin Abu Zubair, Sa'id ibn al-As, Abdul Rahman ibn Harith, all these different people, to rewrite the scriptures in perfect order. Uthman said that these three Quraysh men, they said, if you disagree with Zayd in any point of the Quran, then write it in the dialect of the Quraysh. The Quran was revealed in their tongue. They did so, and when they had written many copies, Uthman returned the original scripture to Hafsa. Uthman sent to every Muslim province one copy. So one copy to Iraq, one copy to Syria, one copy to Egypt, one copy to Yemen, one copy the scholars have different exactly where the areas were sent to. And all these were sent to with this one copy. On all the rest of the copies it was told that they should be burnt, because they don't want to have anything different. Okay? So anyone else has different copies, and that kind of answers your question about Islam, that maybe if they had bones and other things, they burnt it and they destroyed it, because they didn't want any other copies to be out there, if you will. Now, this narration of Bukhari should raise some questions for you. Number one, it says, write it down in the dialect of the Quraysh. Does that mean there's other dialects? So that's another issue. Okay. Now that takes another 30 minutes for me to explain, so we're not going to table it right now. Okay. Another thing also that how many other copies were sent out and where were they sent, and also that the copy that we're talking about that was sent out is not the Quran that we have today. In terms of what, it didn't have all the markings on it. The fatha, the kasra, the dhamma, right? The zabr, zair, pesh, and it didn't have the dots. For fa, it didn't have a dot on it. For qaf, it didn't have two dots on it. For the ba, it didn't have a dot underneath, and the ta, two dots on the top. That wasn't there yet. It was just written out, just plain as simple as it was, if you will. You must say, how can that be? Well, the Arabs, they know. They could read it like that, right? Even without the dots. It's because that's their language, right? Now, where did the dots come in from, if you will? So this is the third compilation, right? So, let me just finish this slide. I'm not too sure. So yeah, so after that, then later on, during the time of Muawiyah, when he was one of the leaders that came after Ali, or during the time of Ali, then he added on the dots for the fa, and the dots for the qaf, and the dots for the ba, and the dots for the ta, right? He didn't do it himself, but he assigned someone else to do that. And then later on, and there was a famous tabi, his name was Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali. You kind of know his name, he's very famous. So he's the one that put the dots. Later on, about in the year 160, so this is now you're talking about 150 years after the Prophet passed away, then they put the Dhamma, the Fatha, and the Kasra, and all that different things. And the person named Al-Khalil ibn Ahmed, who was the first person that actually wrote the first Arabic dictionary to actually do this. And then that came on. So we don't count that as a compilation of the Quran, because it wasn't compiled again. It was more putting the dots, if you will. Because people started pronouncing it wrong, right? And so that's why they wanted to change that, if you will. So let me just do a little small snippet of different dialects in the Quran. Let's go back to Surah Fatiha. go to Surah Fatiha. Okay, good. Let me stand up for this one. It's really hot here, isn't it? Really hot. But anyhow. So here it goes. If you look at Surah Fatiha here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, right? Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Maliki Yawmiddin. You notice there's a little alif right here. Right? You want to see a little alif right there? Right. So here that when you recite it, you say what? Maliki Yawmiddin. You elongate it. Okay? So what does Malik mean? Malik means like owner. Okay? And there's a word called Malik, which kind of means king. Like Malik Fahad al-Saud, like the Saudi king, it's called Malik, right? Really bad example, but anyhow. Right? So they said here that there is a recitation that we have called Warsh. Have you ever heard of Warsh before? If not, just Google it. Okay. So Warsh is a different way of reciting the Quran. Okay, they recite it in a different type of way, if you will. Same Quran, it's a different way to pronounce it. So for them, they say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. They don't say Maliki Yawmiddin, right? I don't know if you guys knew of Father Yusuf that used to be here, this area. Have you guys heard of him? Right? So he used to recite in Warsh. He's from Morocco. People in Morocco recite this way, if you will. So a lot of times people recite is Maliki Yawmiddin, the king of the day of judgment. Right? That's what that means. Now if you recited Maliki Yawmiddin, that means the owner of the day of judgment. Now is there a big difference on the two meanings? Not really. Okay? So, but there's two different ways you could recite it. So know how we talked about that, so write it down in the dialect of the Quraysh. This is what it means here. That there's multiple different dialects, and then there's a hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, that said the Quran was revealed in 7 letters, 7 dialects. Now what does that mean? Right, that's another big discussion. Right, I won't cover that today, but anyhow. 7 dialects. Some say these are the dialects, elongating, shortening, and so forth. Even the Arabs at that time, they couldn't pronounce certain words because they were different tribes, even though they're all Arabs and they spoke Arabic, but they had different accents. And we all know if you go to Alabama or Mississippi or even Texas, right? Texas is like a whole other country, right? They have different ways they talk, right? Y'all and I don't know what, I can't even do it myself anyhow. Like New Yorkers have their coffee and coffee and so forth, how they say coffee and so forth, right? Right? They have their dialect, right? It's same English, and then we have the British, which they're a whole other type of people, right? And then have Australians. They all speak English, but they have a different way of saying things, and they have a different way of spelling things, right? The word meter, M-E-T-R-E. We say M-A-T-E-R, right? For example, right? So they have different ways, like flavor and all these different words that they put different U's in there and stuff like that. So anyhow. Or favorite or something so it's the Arabs were like that, so they had different dialects. So Allah, it's mentioned in a hadith where the Prophet asked Jibril, give me different dialects to make it easy for the people to pronounce it because they can't pronounce this, right? So that's why we see some of the differences here. Some scholars say this is one of the differences. That's not really a big difference. There's more to this. Yeah. There's another point there, but I don't want to bring it up because it's going to be more confusing. So, anyway, we'll leave it there, inshallah. Where was I? Let me go over the compilation really quick. So here, so that was during the time of Uthman radiallahu anhu, and then like I said, the grammar markings came later on, after I think around year 160 or so, if you will, and so forth. So that's pretty much what I had today. In terms of the ulum Quran. Anyone have questions about the Quran? If anything else about the Quran itself that you had how it was compiled, maybe what compilation kind of went over it, or the surahs, or anything else. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could talk about. Obviously, I didn't go over because there's a lot of things to cover. Usually, I do this class in like 12 classes. I go over all the different points of the Quran and stuff, like that. It ends up being a deeper lecture, but anyhow, I'm just kind of going over like the main points here. But these are some things about the Quran. Hopefully, you benefited from it and learned some things about it. But anyone else have any questions, comments?
What about the repetition of some verses for Islam? So we see that in many surahs.
Very good. Good. Awesome. So that's why some scholars said that the Quran almost became the story of Musa alayhi salam, because he spoke about over 100 and I don't know 30 some 100 or 50 something times in the Quran, right? Almost any page you open it up, you're going to see Musa alayhi salam, and it's almost like the same story sometimes too, with a little bit added differences, if you will. Now, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak so heavily, if I will, or so frequently about Musa alayhi salam than other prophets, about Abraham or Noah, if you will, or Dawood alayhi salam, etc., etc. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak so much more about Musa alayhi salam than other prophets for? Right? Anyone could guess?
I have a little theory about it. It's because there's so many lessons that we could pull from that. There was the idea of freeing people from slavery. There's the oppressor. There's the, back in Egypt. There's the escape. There's the travel. There's the getting lost. There's the looking for something. And there's so many lessons that we're supposed to follow and say, don't be like that. There's so many things that we could improve upon all of those stories. We're kind of doing the same thing again.
Awesome, good. You kind of wrapped it up in a nutshell, but maybe someone could add some more details to that. Anyone else want to give it a shot? Why also that's mentioned so much in the Quran for?
I know there's a verse in the Bible which is said to prophesy the Prophet Muhammad where Moses says that God told him that he would send the prophet to the people just like Moses.
Just like Moses, right? Exactly. Of course.
So this is just a lot of speculation.
Right. Number one, that you see that there's a lot of similarities to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Number one is that how is it different than Jesus, peace be upon him, or other prophets? Is that you have Musa alayhi salam, he married, and the Prophet also got married also, right? So you have that similarity. Number two, we have his own people kicked him out from his own city, right? They wanted to kill him. Prophet Muhammad said that same thing. The old Meccans wanted to kick him out. He had to make migration. So both prophets had to make migration. And both prophets end up coming back to the hometown. Or he's trying to come back to the hometown. Musa alayhi salam really, actually, no, I take that back. He didn't come back, actually.
There was migration.
Right, there was migration. We keep it in migration. Another thing also, there's no other prophet that had such a large gathering of people other than Musa alayhi salam's people. Right? He had the biggest followings until the Muslims came. So there's that similarity. How to deal with a lot of people, a lot of different opinions, and how to, deal with such a large nation. That's number two, right? Or number three now. I don't know where we're on number now, right? Also, that you have another similarity is that between the two is that they both, of course, they both got a book, right?
Both have new sets of laws.
Both have new sets of laws that they had to apply, right? And they both had their own. When the Musa alayhi salam migrated, he had his own kind of like civilization, right? They took over the Sinai Peninsula, and they were supposed to go into Palestine, right? We all know that they didn't want to go into Palestine; they were scared, right? So they're going to a new land and have a new journey, have new laws that they have to follow, right? So you see, a lot of these similarities are something very similar that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, went through also. So therefore, you don't really see it that much in other prophets. Other prophets had very small communities. They had 5 people that followed them, 10 people that followed them. It wasn't really a big, nation that they had. Not like Musa alayhi salam. So you see that's why there's a lot of similarities and also that you see that the Muslims will go through that the children of Israel went through, right? Yunus, oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he left his people and came back and he found out that they all believed, right? So yeah, exactly how big that was. It wasn't as big as Musa alayhi salam by far, right? But he was known. That's why they said that when the Prophet went to an Isra and Mi'raj, he saw that Musa alayhi salam was crying. He said, why was he crying for it? Because he found out the Prophet surpassed him in terms of the number of followers, right? Or it said that he'd be crying on the day of judgment. One of the two, I'm kind of maybe mixing up the story. But right, because he had the biggest following, and he thought that he kind of won, if you will, as a friendly competition, right? So that's another thing so they had so much followers. So you see very, very similar stories there, right? And also when we talk about the blueprint of the Quran, is that one thing we didn't cover is that what is the message of the Quran? Right? What is the story of the Quran? What is the Quran trying to tell people to do? Right? And we said that, and we didn't really go over that too much, but the main story of this Quran, we say calling people to who their Lord is, your responsibilities towards Him, and where you're going, right, in this world. What's your purpose in this world and where you're going. That's pretty much the nutshell of the story of the Quran. Trying to direct people and let them understand these basic things and what their responsibility is and what they need, how they need to prepare what they're going for, right? And there's a little bit more that goes into it about stories of prophets and laws and so forth.
How does the prophethood of Harun fit into this?
How did the
The prophethood of Harun fit into the correlation?
to what? Close to what?
Correlation to, like, there are two prophets at the same time, right?
Right. One thing is that Harun alayhi salam, you have the brother Musa alayhi salam. What's understood, he wasn't a Rasul. What's the difference on a Rasul and a Nabi? The scholars have made a difference here. That Rasul is someone who gets a new law, or gets a new book, if you will. So Harun was just following Musa alayhi salam's, his brother, law. He didn't get a new one himself. So he's not as, I don't know, I wouldn't say that's important, I wouldn't say that word, but as challenging, or had a different task, if you will. He was more supporting his brother than actually bringing a new law that Musa alayhi salam had to bring.
Oh, so he didn't used to get revelation for that?
No, revelation in terms of verses and like a new book or something like that. No, not at all. It was only Musa alayhi salam. And that's not, shows the difference between the two. Good thing, good point here. One thing also about the Quran, what you really should know, there's about 350, and some scholars different, up to 500 verses of law in the Quran. Rulings, limits, haram, halal, if you will. Right? How many verses have we said in the Quran? We said around 6,000. What's the percentage of 300 or 500 to 6,000? It's like 8%. Right? So the majority of the Quran is more about working on people's hearts. Only 300 something verses actually talking about law, Sharia, we have to say Islamic law and so forth, right? About stealing, about adultery, about what else? Killing, right? Well, what do you do? If someone kills somebody, how do you handle that, right? Thing called highway robbery, when someone steals a caravan out in the desert. There's a certain rule for that Allah talks about. Drinking alcohol, Allah talks about that also. So this is also a very, very small portion of the Quran. Right? The majority doesn't even talk about that. So that's something you should know also about the Quran. And obviously Fox News and stuff makes it sound like this. We're all about cutting hands and hanging people and killing people and lashing people and so forth. It's not really the case at all. There's a very, very small amount of rulings of that and an emphasis on those rulings. I mean, you have to have rulings because or else you have to run a country, right? You have to have some type of law. So that's it. I don't know if anyone else had anything else want to add to it or comments. If not, this is pretty much what I had in store for all of you. I was going to talk about a little bit something about preparation for Ramadan. So there's something I'm going to be doing, and I'll open up to you if you want to participate. You can. One thing is that as Muslims, we struggle to read the Quran, okay? Because either time or multiple issues. Ramadan, alhamdulillah, we put a bit more effort into it. And so I'm starting this campaign called Read the Quran with Me. So what I'm going to be doing every night, every day in the month of Ramadan, I'm going to be going over 10 pages. Okay? That's half a juz, or half a part of the Quran. And I'm going to be releasing a short video, about a 5-minute video every single day. How to participate in this campaign I'm doing is that if you want to participate in my reading with me, I'm going to be reading the 10 pages every day. I'll show a little video about the synopsis of these 10 pages. I can't pick every verse, obviously, or else I'll turn it to 50 minutes, right? And you guys will never watch it because no one has time for 50 minutes, right? And so, but the thing is, if you join this campaign, then you have to abide by reading those pages also. Okay? So it's like, it's pushing you basically to do it, right? And one thing, Ramadan comes, every scholars will say, no, you need to read the Quran, do it yourself. And we all like, well, why don't you give me a program to do it? Like, help me out a little bit, I'm struggling, right? So I'm trying to answer that call. If you want to sign up, inshallah, what I'm going to start is an email group or a WhatsApp group where I will release a YouTube video link every day. And then in the chat, I want you guys to put what you learned, like 1 or 2 things. I love this verse, I love that verse, or something. Or in the email, you respond back to me, right? So only join this campaign if you're going to read 10 pages, inshallah. 10 pages, honestly, is not a lot. You can knock that out quite fast. You shouldn't read it fast, but you should read it with understanding. That's what I'm trying to get with. And this is not, why am I only doing 10 pages? Because I don't want you to just read it really quick. I want you to understand what you read. What are the lessons in it? And that's the point of Ramadan, is to understand these verses and not just read it 100 miles per hour. I said I read the Quran, but I didn't understand 1 page of it. So therefore, I didn't get anything better. Right? And so I wasn't really trying to stop people from reading the Quran so much where they're only reading for blessings and not reading for understanding. And that's the problem with our ummah, is that we only read for blessings. And we have a bunch of people who don't understand one verse of the Quran, and they're the ones stealing and cheating and backbiting because they didn't read the verse about backbiting. And they didn't understand that it was a verse about backbiting. Right, so that's an issue, right? So we need to slow ourselves down. Even if it's 1 page a day, that would have been better. So I did 10. Just because to get the balance between the barakah and the balance between, understanding. So I think that was good.
Now, what time we can read it?
Huh?
What time you can read it, because Taraweeh will take 11 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to find that. I can only help you so I can't come to your house. So only thing is what helps you is that you know that this group is doing it also, to give you motivation. I don't want to be left out. And that I'm doing this video that you could at least watch it and then it'll help you understand also.
So you said 10 pages of reading, it's the tafsir or?
No, just read the Arabic. I mean, you read the English or read the translation. I don't even want you to read the Arabic. I mean, if you understand Arabic, read Arabic. But otherwise, read in the language that you know.
No tafsir either.
No, I mean, it's better. You can. I don't want to make it too hard to people or else it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
The video will be translation?
Yeah, I will just basically handpick about 4 or 5 verses and speak about them. There's only 5 minutes. Who knows, I even could limit myself to 5 minutes. I haven't done it yet. I haven't started developing the videos. I'm going to start this week. So who knows, it might even get up to 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want to make it too long or else people won't watch it. Right? So if you are interested, inshallah ta'ala, I will give you a sign-up sheet if you guys put your email and your phone number. Because if we do the WhatsApp, I need your phone number, inshallah ta'ala. So,
10 pages, meaning you'll be halfway through by then, right?
yes, so why am I doing that for? Because I want to make it sustainable. So you did half of it, so finish the other half on your own. Like, I can only walk you so far, right? So the next Shawwal, finish the rest of the Quran, if you will. Or until whatever your own pace is. So for me, it's trying to get you to walk up to running, and then you can carry yourself on after Ramadan, right? Who knows, I might continue the videos after Ramadan.
Yeah, so if you have developing first,
Yeah, then I could do it.
probably.
So I might do it, depends, yeah. So I'll put the classes around. If you have any more questions or comments, I'm going to end here, inshallah. Hopefully this was beneficial to you. If you have any things that maybe you're a little bit shy of asking, please come up. If not, Ramadan starting next week. Next Sunday, we're going to start Tafsir Surah Rahman here from 10:30 to 12. So the whole month the whole month of Ramadan, we'll have a Tafsir class every Sunday morning. So 10:30, give you enough time to wake up. You can sleep a little bit. You get up, inshallah ta'ala. Wash your face at least. Don't at least change your clothes. Don't come in your pajamas. And you could, inshallah, you could learn. And so learning about the Quran obviously is the best thing. So we do the tafsir, we'll get into the verses. I don't think I'll finish Surah Rahman in Ramadan. I done it one time before and it took me 12 weeks. So I'll condense it. I won't go as deep as I did before my other class I did. But at the same time, I want you guys to learn. So inshallah, we'll see how that works and we'll move from there. If anything else, inshallah, you guys have a great Ramadan. Hopefully I'll see you back next Sunday. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, forgive us for our wrongdoings. Help us see the month of Ramadan, Ya Kareem, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Accept our deeds in it. Save us from the hellfire, Ya Rabbil Alameen, in this great month, Ya Kareem, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Connect our hearts to this Quran, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Help us understand it, what its meaning, and help us implement it in our lives. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين